Recently, I was contacted by the website Banggood and asked if I wanted to do a video review of any of the products they had on their website. And then they told me that they had Nerf products, and I was extremely confused because back when I actually did do stuff with Banggood, they didn't have any Nerf stuff, and, well, now they do. They have a crap ton of it, and best of all, they have a bunch of worker stuff. So, I decided to buy a bunch of stuff that you kind of have already seen if you watched my Prophecy build, but a lot of people had questions, does it work with a Retaliator? And I didn't know because I didn't try to put any of there on there, but yeah, well, we're gonna find out, and well, yeah, obviously it does, because the Prophecy is based off the Retaliator, and they're almost the exact same blaster, so yeah, I got some stuff for the Retaliator. Like, let's start with the whole pump action kit here. This is that beautiful pump action kit that you can buy. It's basically a whole body modification kit, but this has a built-in hidden rail pump action, which is incredibly smooth, with a Picatinny rail down here that will take any kind of Picatinny foregrip that you want to put on there, and then these things go on the sides here. Once you take off the priming slide, you can put these pieces on there, and not only does it hide the rails, but it completely changes the look of the blaster, which makes it absolutely awesome. I am a huge fan of this pump grip, and now I have another one to throw on a Retaliator, but, I mean, what's the point of having a pump action kit if it doesn't do anything super crazy awesome? And, well, it would look weird with all that stuff on the front if there wasn't anything on the back, so I got myself this nice, beautiful, extending shoulder stock, which is really cool. It's got an internal, like, red aluminum, which is very similar to the red inner barrel on this thing, so that completes the look. It is very comfortable and very well made, and it's completely adjustable into 4 different settings from, you know, pretty short to not as short. And, well, I mean, that's pretty cool, but I could have just used, like, a painted, like, I don't know, Rampage or Raider stock or something like that. But, this one folds. That is tactical as all heck. I am very, very excited to use this thing. I love this stock. This is really, really cool. I'm excited to see what this thing can do. Small word of warning, though. I was just trying to test fit this onto this thing, and it actually won't fit normally. You have to, like, cut this part off. This is not important to the function of the blaster. It's a safety thing. So if you literally just bandsaw this whole ball right off and keep the actual stock attachment point, this will fit on there and it will work fine. Otherwise, it's like, it's not gonna go. It doesn't fit. It's not possible. But what good is both of those without any kind of performance upgrade? I mean, these are cool and all, but what's the point of going through the effort of spending the money on something like this if you're just gonna have a stock Retaliator? I mean, you could just go about and get an Elite Alpha Trooper or something for half the price of this thing. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've gotten 2 performance upgrades kits. The first one is this one, which includes a new bolt sled, which is a lot stronger than the stock one, and a new plunger rod, which has less dead space and is reinforced compared to the original one, which is great. So we can just slap that right in there, we're good to go. And then we also got a new breech system that includes a spring. This is a new barrel system that you can put on it for short length darts. Here's the bolt for it. It is a pusher style breech, so this will meet up with this thing, kind of like that, and make this thing go shoot really, really hard. I believe this is a 7 kilogram spring. I'm not entirely sure, because the actual website listing doesn't tell you, because I bought this in combination with this magazine, which is a short length dart magazine. You can see the follower right there, only takes up half the magazine, and about 50 of these kinds of darts, which are Worker's actual brand of Stefan short length dart kind of things, and these are very, very nice darts. I do like them a lot. I've already played with a couple of them, so yeah, unfortunately they're not like, I'm doing an unboxing, but it's just a box of darts, come on, man. That was $30 for the kit, the magazine, and the dart. I thought that was a great deal to include the spring, and if this spring isn't powerful enough, I've got another spring I could shove in here, but we're just going to be going with this one. So yeah, these are all parts that you just shove in a Retaliator and make it super awesome without having to do any kind of crazy body modification or anything. You just slap it on there, it's good to go. So you may be wondering why the heck I spent all my time making this. And the less savvy of you would be like, wow, Walcom, that's a really cool looking Recon Mark II, and you would be entirely wrong, because this is not a Recon Mark II, this is a Retaliator Recon Mark II. It's a Retaliator with a Recon Mark II grip. You may be thinking, why the heck did you go around doing all of that extra work for absolutely no reason? It's because this kit doesn't fit a Recon Mark II, but it does fit on a Retaliator, and I wanted the Recon Mark II grip, and since they're essentially the same thing, I just bandsawed the whole grip off and epoxied on the grip from the Recon Mark II. And it worked. It works totally good. I've put a trigger in there, I've primed it back, and it releases the catch, and as far as I can tell, it works perfectly fine, which is awesome. You were expecting me to literally just take this and shove black stuff on it and call it like a LR300 or something like that. Come on, man, I've got more dignity than that. I'm gonna do something special, and I'm glad this turned out so freaking well. This looks so cool, in my opinion. I'm really excited to get all this stuff on this blaster. I've already taken apart all the things. Again, if you just follow any Retaliator guide, I mean, I'll show you putting in the stuff, but it's a Retaliator. I've taken apart 3 dozen of them. It's very, very simple. So just get everything out of your Retaliator and start from there. Just ignore the fact that this thing is obviously a Recon Mark II. The pump grip doesn't work with a Recon Mark II, by the way. I think I mentioned that. Everything else pretty much does, but this does not. So just keep that in mind if you were planning on buying that for a Recon Mark II. That's one of the questions I got that I can finally answer thanks to Banggood sending me all these pieces. So, as soon as my pump action grip that I ordered from Tactical Foam gets here, I'll be ready for this. I mean, I did make it a whole black blaster. This is obviously not something that's meant to go outside in public. I don't take this kind of thing out. Just to make super sure, this is the barrel attachment I have for my whole pump grip here. Just put that on there, and yeah, that's a suppressor that's all black, and I love these kind of squares. Like, seriously, those look freaking cool. And I've even got a real steel optic, a red dot sight I'm gonna throw on this thing. I say real steel, it's probably airsoft or whatever, but I got it on Amazon. And yeah, this thing's gonna be tricked out. It's basically being called getting shot in the park. So don't take this thing out in public if you're gonna have this whole setup on it. But man, it will look really cool. So yeah, let's start shoving things in here. All right, and with this package, I have the final piece I need in order to get this thing finished. This is another version of the same foregrip that I put on the Rage of Dust. This time, it's for this thing. There's only one problem. This also came. And now it's going to taunt me for like the next 3 hours while I shoot and edit and do this video. But we're basically almost done here. Not the easiest thing to fold out, but oh man, this thing is freaking cool. Where do I begin? How about with the parts that we already pretty much know? The ones I got from Banggood, basically. So the pump action grip, yes, it does work flawlessly on a Retaliator, and it makes the blaster look entirely different because of the side plates that hide the exposed rails. And I love this pump grip. I love it so freaking much. It's not that the other ones are bad, it's just this one not only has that angle in it, which seems to reduce the actual stress of priming the thing, it's super smooth, and it changes the complete look of the blaster. It's hard to disagree with that. I absolutely adore the pump action grip, but it is like a $50 kit. But you're getting both a pump action grip and a whole entire cosmetic kit, both in one, so might be worth it. Kind of up to you, and of course it will work with a Prophecy as well. It will not work with a Recon Mark II. It just doesn't, but it will work with any of the Retaliators, so, and a Prophecy, which is basically a Retaliator. The stock is possibly my new favorite stock ever. I actually was one of the people who liked the Spectre stock, but it's completely useless. It was flimsy, it kind of sucked, but I love the folding stocks because it just, it cuts down the back end of the blaster. You never know if you want to use your blaster like this for some reason, but you could have it like, you could have it on your hip like Venom Snake and have a full assault rifle folded up on your hip and then pull this thing out, pull that down, and have that latched together, and then this on top of that is adjustable. There are 2 versions of the stock. One of them folds, one of them doesn't. Other than that, they're both identical. I happen to like the folding one the most. This is aluminum, this is aluminum. I love this stock. It's super comfortable, and it looks freaking cool! Next up, the magazine and the darts that came with it. I mean, this is pretty typical. It is a 12-round Stefan magazine. It only takes Stefans, or short darts, whatever you fancy. And it works pretty good, but it's mostly just a cosmetic piece in my opinion. There are much more efficient magazines that you can get out there, but if you care about looks over function, then this might be something you might want to get. And in the kit that came with it, with like the spring and the bolt and stuff like that, and then 50 of the darts and then the magazine, that's a pretty decent deal. Not that you might want to get that, because we'll talk about the actual performance later, but yeah, and these darts, this blaster isn't a fair comparison for them, but I have shot them out with my Caliburn. They're dumb. They are very, very good. That's a video for another time, but these darts are just phenomenal. The only problem I have with them is that they're expensive. I think you can only get them in like a 50 dart pack right now. It's like $3 to $5 for 50 of these things. They have this weird gap between the foam and the actual head, but I think that creates some kind of like airfoil or something like that, because these things are so accurate, it is not even funny. These worker darts are amazing. They're really expensive right now, and I hope the price comes down at some point. In this blaster, it's a little bit of a waste, because let's talk about the actual performance of the thing, and it's this. It's not bad. I mean, okay, it's not bad. It's not like Stefan good, like I need to use cut down darts good, but it's not bad, in all honesty. Highs of like 115s. The low was like a 40 something, but that just was an outlier. Don't pay attention to those. It was consistently above 100. Not bad. Firing performance in the actual field, again, not bad. It's not very consistent, but it's not bad. The biggest issue, I think, is that there's way too much barrel on this thing for the actual power this blaster delivers at the moment. Again, stock plunger tube with whatever, I think it's a 7 kilogram spring, because I think that's the highest worker sells for the Retaliator. It could do with a bit more. If you were to throw in an expanded plunger tube or a 10 kilogram spring or both, you'd get far better performance. And, well, to use this thing with the whole kit, I have to take off this whole barrel. This is the inner barrel that comes with the whole pump action kit, and then, of course, this is the suppressor I bought off Tactical Foam, which, of course, doesn't do anything. It's entirely cosmetic, but it does lengthen the actual barrel, and that just directly hurts performance, unfortunately. But with it in there, it looks freaking cool. And even if you didn't get the pump action kit, even if you just got the internals, the magazine, and then the stock or something like that, you wind up with this little PDW SMG looking thing that looks awesome, and you're gonna perform the exact same way as this thing. You just won't have the comfort of a pump action grip. Of course, I've got my angled foregrip on here that I also got from Tactical Foam. I already knew I liked this thing because I had it on the Rage of Dust. Beautiful, beautiful piece. I happen to like angled foregrips more than pretty much anything, even though a vertical foregrip may be a little bit better in some cases. And the optic is like the cheapest one I found on Amazon that I happen to like. It's got 2 different colors, red and green, and it's got 5 brightness settings for both and 4 different reticles from a crosshair to a dot. And it looks cool. Good enough for me. I like it. And the actual modification works fine. Necessary? No, but has anybody done that yet? Nobody would really ever need to do something like that, but I did it because I wanted to use this kit and I wanted to have this grip, and I think that pulls the entire blaster together, in my opinion, because it looks different than my Prophecy, and it looks different if I were to put this just on a stock Retaliator or something like that. I just love guards. I wish I had a whole stock that also had a freaking thumbhole stock on this thing, because I'd be even happier. If I could get the grip guard and a thumbhole stock, I would be in heaven. And you know that's the thing that's going to happen sometime in the future. I'll have to cut up yet another Recon Mark II. But overall, it's not bad. The performance isn't good enough for me to say you need to have Stefans for this kind of thing, but at the same time, the kit only works with Stefans, so there's not really a whole lot of choice right there. You can, of course, buy different kits, fold-length dart kits, and all sorts of things. You can put whatever you want in there. These were just the parts I bought to get it as close to my Prophecy as I could, and, well, if you minus the whole pump-action grip, it's way cheaper than a Prophecy. So, not a whole lot to hate here, a lot to love. Basically, this thing's going to be a wall hanger for me, but it does look cool, and if I ever wanted to show somebody a Nerf gun and surprise them with a, yeah, check out this Nerf gun, I would call it a blaster, but yeah, check out this Nerf gun, man. It's, yeah, they'd be like, this is a Nerf, it'll freaking
blow a hole in the wall. No, it won't. It shoots foam. I swear, it shoots foam. I promise you, it only shoots foam. Foam darts. Relax. I think this thing could really do with a metal catch too, but I love it. Of course I love it. I basically just tried to build the get shot in the park blaster, and I'll never be able to use it on the field, but it's cool. Will I put more money into it to make it better? Probably. I have a 10 kilogram spring from Blaster Turf, so yeah, but that's cool. I'm going to call it the Walcom Warrior, based off the one from Guns the Duel. If you didn't know, the Walcom name comes from Guns the Duel, and Walcom makes SMGs. The SMGs are the Walcom S7s, are the highest level SMGs. And there's the Walcom Warrior series, which were assault rifles that are very inaccurate but very powerful. I'm going to go with that. Let me know what you think about this thing down in the comment section below. If you have any ideas, like things I need to throw on this. I do know what these little holes on the side are. They're key mods, so if I want to put like flashlight or something in there, it's a key mod. That's what I need to look for. But other than that, if you have any ideas, let me know. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. This just breaks down nice and compact for a full rifle.